Welcome to the RMMmax Tech video series. Today's topic is configuring a client and agents to allow each of the tools the ability to manage the agents under the client. We'll be starting with a configured team, but that's all we have currently set up. Now, join me as we dive in and get started. This is our main application view. Before we can get started with our client, we need to turn on the master switch. There are two primary functions that must be enabled before we can continue. Enable Daily RMM Sync allows automation to scan the RMM and request data from agents about current status. And Allow Tool Automation, which allows each of the tools to automate different tasks against the enabled agents. Both of these need to be selected for proper operation of RMMmax automation. Next, let's select a client to manage. Both the client and one or more of the agents must be generally enabled before any tools will function. As well, each tool is required to be enabled individually. This allows you granular control over what tools manage a given agent. Once you have the agents you want enabled, we can move on to enabling the tools. Let's start with Surflog. Surflog has several client settings that need configured. Allow automated scans, optionally, email notifications, and lastly, log retention period in days. Now that the client side of the tool is enabled, we can enable one or more of the agents we want to manage with Surflog. Select one or more of the agents, then from the Settings menu select the Enable, Disable button from the menu. Now we just wash and repeat the same process for each of the tools. Select Bleach Bit, click the enabled client chip. Now select some agents and from the Settings menu select the Enable/Disable button to enable the selected agents. Let us do the same for the Bit Locker tool. Select the Bit Locker tab, and then click the Client Enabled chip to enable the client. Now, select one or more agents from the agent list. Then, from the Settings menu, select the Enable/Disable button to enable the agents. Do the same thing for Windows Defender. Enable the client, then enable the agents you want to use the tools. The Software Manager tool is more involved with its settings. I'll cover just the basics to get you going. Software Manager works with Windows, Mac, and Linux agents. Each agent type has its own set of client and agent settings needed to operate. To manage all agent types, you will need to visit each of the agent type settings and configure the settings to enable that agent type. Each agent type has an Enable Automated Scans, Enable Auto Updates, and Auto Installs of approved software along with update scheduling. Once completed, you are ready to enable your agents. Now that our client and the agents are enabled for each of the tools, we could stop here and allow the automation to start working on your enabled agents to collect the base status of each tool. This can take upwards of 24 hours on the first run of an enabled client. And, if we try and run a sync manually, it will fail. Each of the tools has a set of functions that are passed down to the agent. We have packaged them all up in a zip we call our management package. Automation will deploy this package, but if you need the agents responding right now, you can manually deploy the management package to the enabled agents. You can deploy the management package globally to all enabled agents across all clients. Or, by selecting a client, from the Client's General tab, select the Command menu and then the Management Package submenu. You can push to all enabled agents under the selected client or select from a list of agents to deploy the management package to. Now that the management package has been deployed to the agents, we can start manually syncing the tools using our manual sync controls. Each tool is auto-synced at least once a day and in some cases several times a day through the RMMmax automation services. By enabling clients and agents for the individual tools, you have turned on these automated services. To stop the automated services, disable the client or agents. Bear with me as I manually fire off a sync job for each of the tools. It won't take a moment. You will notice that there are several tasks that get synchronized one or more times a day. To prevent a lot of the requests to update from coming in all at once, we spread each of the sync requests out over a 24-hour period. This way, your RMM platform does not have large spikes in command requests going out to agents during peak usage. Okay, now let's sync the device state and that should be all of them. And now we wait. Through the magic of video time editing, we have jumped into the future about 5 minutes or so. The agents have all responded to the requests for data, and we should now see data in our tools. Looks like we deployed Chocolatey to our Windows agents. Let's check Windows Defender. Looks like only one agent has returned data. We will give them another minute. BitLocker has all agents checking in. And the same for BleachBit. Surflog agents are showing logs collected, so we can select from the commands menu, Charts. This will start to chart the first logs collected. As Surflog operates, the charts will fill in with more detail. You can also select Raw Logs to see the logs for the entire client. Get the browser type used along with the title of the page requested. You have the physical URL that was requested and the user that made the request. You can even see from which agent the request was made. Let's have a look at BleachBit. Each of the agents shows both a file count and a total storage size of the junk files found on Windows agents. If you select any agent, it will launch the agent view of the tool. Here you can get the details of each of the groups of file types and use the tools to manage the agent. BitLocker has collected all the volume data and states for each agent. Here you can manage each volume. Encrypt volumes and adding key protectors is just the beginning of what you can do. Let's look at Windows Defender. Agents are checking in and we now have current status of our agents. From here we can run quick and full virus scans and view any alerts the agent may have. We can also modify the configurations and exclusions for each of the agents. Lastly, we can see that our software manager has deployed the package manager for Windows to the agent and it is now ready to install, update and delete the software titles you deploy. Each of the tools are now ready and enabled for the new client, and we have completed a simple setup on a single client. Well, I hope that this brief run-through has helped you with getting a client and their agents up and running with RMMmax. Thank you for watching and have a great day.